today we're going to talk about realistic wellness for busy employees. So the main takeaway from today is going to be more about practical wellness, not about perfection. All right, so why do we keep hyping wellness on everybody? So it is not just to get those healthy lab values so you can say, yes, I got my check mark and move on with my day, but we're pushing for better energy, focus, and then also helping with the body's resilience. So there is never a right time or a perfect time to start some of these wellness activities, but always right now is the best time, just because one more day is going to help get those better healthy outcomes. Small habits are what's going to help over time, and then consistency beats intensity. All right, so wellness. There are 5 pillars of wellness. If you Google it, there's like a bunch of different explanations of this, or some of the pillars are slightly different, but these were my, I think, the best pillars of wellness. So first one is movement, and then the next one is nutrition, and hydration is part of that nutrition. Sleep, and then mental health with stress prevention, and social connection. We're going to go through each one of those. So first one is about movement. So it does not have to be marathon running. It's not something I expect all of you to start running 5 miles a day, but simple activities are very beneficial to overall wellness. Examples are going to be taking walking breaks at work. So when you have, whether it be, some people get short 15-minute breaks, go for a small walk, whether it be walking around, taking the long way to fax machine instead of right there from the desk, going, taking the stairs at times if that's an option for you. Also setting a goal for your step count for the day. It used to be always 10,000 was the goal for everybody, but 10,000 may not be realistic for some people, especially if you're starting at a low step count of 2,000. So now studies have shown somewhere between a goal of 7,000 to 10,000 is realistic and going to be healthy, helpful for that wellness. If you're already walking 10,000 steps a day just because your job requires that activity, I would encourage you to bump it up past that, just because your body gets used to what you do on a daily, and so it's not going to see it as anything different if you are trying to, one, lose weight but achieve that wellness. Standing every hour. If you have an Apple Watch, I feel like it tells you all the time you need to stand up and move around. And so standing every hour helps promote circulation. It also helps with that focus, just because it's bringing oxygen back up to the brain, getting it all throughout the body, helping with recirculation. You can incorporate what's called exercise snacks, meaning it does not have to be you go to the gym for 2 hours and pound on the treadmill until you're tired. You can do small workouts at home. There are tons of people that guide small, whether it be 30-minute exercise bursts that you can do at home, like HIIT training type workouts. There are other types of things, whether it be Pilates and things that you can do from the comfort of your home, especially if you have busy lives and you can't get out and do that true like gym workout. Also, small walks are helpful. Even if it's a 20-minute walk, you're still moving that circulation, getting that heartbeat up a little bit. So movement is what's protecting your heart, helps build muscle strength, and as we get older, it actually helps maintain bone density as well. The studies show that the people who are less active have that risk for osteopenia, osteoporosis. So keeping up that movement is going to help protect those bones, prevent fractures over time. Finding activities that you enjoy is also important. If you do not like to play tennis, don't pick up tennis. Like if you do not like to golf, don't go out with your husband and golf, because that's not going to be fun for you. You're not going to maintain it. But if you like something, if you want to do swimming or things, find ways to do what you enjoy. That'll keep you a little bit more consistent with it. All right, next part, which we had a whole topic on this as well, but nutrition. So biggest takeaways from this are going to be eating whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, staying away from the things that we think of, processed foods, excessive carbs. We need some carbs in our day-to-day. It's just picking those healthier carbs and then watching the bad fats as well. Fried foods, greasy foods, fatty meats, trying to have the healthier fats in the diet as well. Ensuring adequate protein and fiber, those are going to be huge, especially women, which everyone is a woman in here. So we do not get enough protein or fiber in. A lot of the time we are, especially if we're busy, we're skipping meals, we're trying to grab something quick. And a lot of women are deficient in both protein and fiber in their daily intake. So just checking in, making sure you're getting plenty of both so you're meeting those requirements. If you can, meal prepping, lunch is the main one I see people have trouble with. A lot of times we can make a plan for home. Okay, when we get home, we have dinner set for the week. We can stick to that. But lunch, when we're at work, things are crazy. If you haven't brought something with you, it is hard not to go out and grab something quick that is usually going to be on the unhealthy side. There are a lot of things at restaurants that you can get or fast food places that are healthier, but it is just too tempting to grab something else. And so it is something that meal prepping for that lunch can be very helpful. Planning for healthy snacks. We are all going to snack. It is something that, whether it be just because we're bored one day, we have nothing to do, and we just pull for a snack, stressed, a lot of people stress eat, or it's that wonderful time of the month and we feel like we need to go snack on something. Having healthy options for yourself available are going to help keep you on track. Thinking of food for the body as your body's fuel, you would want to use the best fuel available. You're not going to want to use fuel that was in another car. You're not going to want to use something that is going to slow you down over time or rust your engine. You're going to want to use something that works well and is going to provide the best outcomes for your body. So thinking about food in that sense can definitely help. And then there is what's called the 80-20 rule. So this is where, as I talked about at the beginning, life is about trying to help with those helpful tips and not be perfect. There's no way that you're going to achieve perfection. And so this is about 80% of your meals and snacks are going to be on that healthy track that you think of. And then 20% are those days, hey, I'm going to treat myself to, whether it be a little snack, whether it be a meal that I really want. It does not mean 80-20 of every single day, but of your overall diet. 80% of it's going to be on that healthy track. 20% can be some things, just so you don't feel like you're on that endless cycle of food that is not your favorite all the time. All right, hydration. If you've seen me in clinic, you know I pretty much yell at everybody about hydration. A lot of people don't drink enough water. Hydration, you want to drink about at least 64 ounces of water a day. That's the standard for everybody, unless you have heart issues and your cardiologist has told you otherwise. But most healthy adults are going to want to drink 64 ounces of water a day. If you are trying to lose weight, the goal is half your body weight in ounces of water a day. Makes you mad when you step on a scale. You're like, that's a lot of water I got to drink. But it is something that if you can get close to that, it is very helpful. As you are working to lose weight, breaking down fat cells, the way to flush them out of the body is through hydration. But adequate hydration is going to support many things. Your kidneys, your organs just in general, skin, hair, helps keep hormones balanced, thyroid. Hydration really has an impact on everything. Starting the morning with a glass of water is something that's very helpful. One, it starts that metabolism up, but two, it already starts getting some of that water intake for the day. A glass is usually going to be somewhere between 10 to 16 ounces of water, so that is helpful to get that water started, and it usually helps promote your thirst and your intake throughout the rest of the day. Keeping a reusable water bottle nearby can also be very helpful, something you're used to carrying with you, and so that you can reuse it and refill it. And so then you also know how much is in it. So you can kind of keep track of how much you're drinking throughout the day. And then watching for your sugary drinks. So things we think of, obviously, like sodas, teas, but some of those packets, a lot of them are sugar-free, some are not. So just making sure what you are drinking in between water isn't something that's a diuretic that's going to lose that work that you've already had, or it's not doesn't have excess sugar in it. All right, next pillar is sleep. So quality sleep improves productivity and health. You want to aim for about 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day. You want to have a consistent sleep schedule. That sleep schedule is going to be tough, especially just in our normal life, but trying to at least set some sort of routine for yourself, whether it be you brush your teeth at a certain time, shower, whatever your routine is, sitting in a darker room, turning the lights down at least 30 minutes or so before you go try to lay down. Obviously not trying to eat right before bedtime. That definitely disrupts melatonin production. But then also reducing screen time. So I have a lot of patients that tell me they have trouble sleeping. They're just laying on their phone all night. A lot of times our body will not produce its natural melatonin response, which is what helps us get to sleep, if you have that blue light. Everyone's a little different. Some people can knock out right away. I'm envious of those people. But so something to consider is having a certain cutoff time for screen time, charging your phone a little bit away from the bed. A lot of people say it's my alarm. That's fine. Just having it on the other side of the nightstand so you don't pull for it and you're not staring at it as you're trying to go to bed. All right, next pillar is about mental health. So mental health and stress management is the pillar itself. So I did a lunch and learn a while back about stress management, the effects of stress on the body, which, as most people know, there are so many negative effects of stress on the body, but some helpful things that can be done to help promote your mental health when you are that busy employee is something like the 20-20-20 rule. So looking 20 feet away for 20 seconds every 20 minutes. One, it helps reduce digital eye strain. If you go to the eye doctor and they tell you, some people develop astigmatism and different things over time from looking at the computer all day long. This helps prevent that eye strain and worsening eyesight, but it also helps prevent some of the mental fatigue. So brain dump. So basically what this is at the end of the day, spend a few minutes writing down what you need to do tomorrow so that you're not laying there at night like, okay, I need to remember to do this and this and this. That way you can try to, okay, I already know what I need to do. I already have my list prepared for me, something to take off your mind at the end of the day. And then monotasking blocks. So basically what this is more a productivity thing that can help at home or at work, but turning off email notifications for just a short period of time so you can focus on a certain task that you need to get done. There are many times, even myself sitting at my desk, I'm trying to complete, whether it be a prior auth or something, and I've got my phone ringing, I've got somebody else bothering me, and it's like, okay, now I'm doing 6 things instead of the one that I need to do immediately. Turning off those notifications or trying to get that one thing complete can really help that mental health so you don't feel that overwhelming sensation of, I have too much to do and I can't complete it. All right, with the stress management component, so some of the things we had talked about in that one lunch and learn was, the biggest thing was the 4A. So those are avoid, alter, accept, and adapt. When trying to manage stress, there are some stressors in life you're not going to be able to control. There's too many things going on, things that are some natural stresses like deadlines and things that you are going to respond to regardless. But there are things that you can help. So if there's certain things you know stress you out a little bit more, trying to avoid some of those if they are avoidable, trying to change a routine if that helps to prevent you from having some of those additional stresses. Also, accepting there are some circumstances you're not going to be able to change. That is the hardest one. It's always the hardest one for me, but trying to get through and understanding either you need to lean on someone to get through that time, but just really accepting that there are some things that you cannot change. Other things you can do are, one, practice deep breathing. There are apps for guided breathing. There are different things as far as whether it be meditation or truly just sitting down in a room and taking some deep breaths that can really help to kind of level everything back. It also helps get control of heart rate and blood pressure when you do those deep breaths. So that can help you feel like you're getting your body back under control in those stressful situations. Taking small breaks, it does not have to be, okay, I'm going to go on a 4-day vacation because I'm too stressed out. But even stepping away from something for a few minutes when you are very stressed can be very helpful for the mental health. And then if you enjoy it, spending time outdoors. I know right now not many people want to be outside in the middle of the heat, but with spending time outdoors, that can also be doing something that you enjoy, whether it be reading or doing a certain hobby. It can be something that just helps give you a little bit of that stress relief. All right, social connection. So this one is a little bit different than what you think of. So the social connection is about making sure that you build and maintain meaningful, supportive relationships with your community and peers. And so something that can be helpful, so the water cooler check-in. So when you are at work, not really, we don't have water coolers anymore, but when you're at work, you run into somebody, having a quick conversation with them that has nothing to do with actually work is very helpful for the well-being, just because you are having that social interaction, you are discussing things outside of it, and you're getting a quick mental break from your task at hand at work. And so that is what they mean by more of like the water cooler check-in, talking about plans for the weekend, kiddo sports, things like that. The 1 minute text. So that can be an appreciation text to a friend, partner, when you have a break at work, sending a check-in to a family member, just saying like, thinking of them during certain situations, something that's just making sure you're maintaining your social relationships. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm too busy, I didn't have time to respond. It does not have to be this long, crazy response. It can be a quick, hey, just want to let you know, thinking of you, life's been crazy, the end. And so something that's quick, but still maintaining your relationships. Having lunch with your peers is something that is basically going out and getting away from the work environment for a little bit of time, if you have that availability, getting away from computer screens, getting out, whether it be at a restaurant or even just going outside when the weather's better for like eating your lunch outside, but not talking about work at that lunch. It is tough to do, especially with employees, but that way, one, you get to know your peers a little bit better, but two, promoting that social connection. Boundaried socialization. So this is saying no at times. We need to know that it is okay to say no. That is part of our wellness pillar of social connection. You cannot say yes to everything. It is a very tough thing for people to, one, say no or cancel on things if they feel like they're a little overwhelmed. They try to maintain all of those events, but sometimes we just can't. So really knowing where your social boundaries are and when you need to recharge your own social battery. And then ensuring healthy tech habits. That one I did print out a flyer for. So a lot of it is going to be, one, making sure that you're using your phone, but you don't have an over-reliance of your phone. Yes, you can communicate with others. Obviously, they're very helpful for a variety of things, but one of the biggest things is they can have an impact on the mental health if they're overused. So some of the ways to ensure that they are healthy tech habits are setting designated check-in times. So just like we talked about sleep, making sure you have a time where, okay, I'm not going to use my phone before this time so I can get some good sleep, or I'm going to have this period of time where I go for a walk, I do this hobby I like, and I don't check my phone. So that is just you and you time only, and you don't have that distraction of the phone. Taking regular screen breaks just as far as vision-wise and then mental health-wise. And then also turning off non-essential notifications. We sign up for an app and you get notifications about stuff that you really don't care about on a day-to-day basis. Turning those off helps relieve some of those unnecessary notifications while you are trying to get other tasks done at work. And then keeping back to what we said, keeping devices out of reach at bedtime. That is something that is helpful to get that sleep. There have been many times I'll go out to eat with my husband and you'll see two people at a table, both of them on their phones the whole time, not even talking to each other. That's the biggest thing we want to avoid. You want to promote the social connection, but no phones are helpful, but at the same time, you don't want to overuse them. All right, and so with all this, another way to maintain these pillars of health is preventative care. I probably talk about it every single time I'm here just because it is extremely important. Preventative care helps to identify problems early and reduces long-term complications. So preventative care is scheduling annual physicals, doing the biometric screenings, knowing your numbers, staying up to date on recommended vaccines as well. When you do your annual physical, if you go through our clinic or most primary cares will go through the vaccines that are needed, making sure you're up to date on any vaccines, completing age-appropriate cancer screenings, and then also managing your chronic conditions proactively. If you do that, it's going to prevent unwanted complications in those chronic diseases, and then also it's going to prevent some progressions of the disease that we wouldn't want. All right, so with this, the 30-day challenge I have for you guys is picking one pillar to work on and picking a single habit. It is not something you're like, I am going to perfect my sleep in the next 30 days. That's not realistic. But picking a habit that you are going to try to instill in your day-to-day, whether it be, I am going to drink 64 ounces of water a day and I'm going to make sure I do that and track it every single day. I am going to not use my phone for 30 minutes before I go to bed, something that you think that is an achievable habit for you, just because doing one habit at a time, those will gradually build up and help with that overall wellness. Finding an accountability partner can be very helpful because then you know y'all are, one, going to compete with it if you have that competitive nature, but two, you're going to keep each other on track as well. Like, hey, did you drink your water today? Are you doing this? Did you avoid this? Like whatever you decide to do, an accountability partner can be helpful. As I had mentioned, tracking it, whether it be having like an app on your phone to track your water intake, a true like planner where you just write down, yes, you have a check mark, you did it at the end of the day, whatever you need to be able to track that. And then when you get to the end of the 30 days, celebrate your progress with it and try to just continue it. A lot of times, once you've hit the 30-day mark, it's now incorporated in your normal routine. And so it's something that'd be beneficial to continue and then maybe start thinking about your next one that you're going to try to incorporate in your day-to-day. All right, so that is the end of what I have for you guys today. Do you have any questions for me? No? Perfect. Well, thank you guys for having me. And then if y'all have any questions, issues, concerns, you can always come into the clinic and be seen, and we can help get you taken care of. Thank you.